Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Wednesday, December 4th. The Dolphins suck. What else is new? That was a disappointing game, but I am exhausted. I was at that snow game in Buffalo on Sunday night. It was a long day. Long time, stopped at the border both ways. I was supposed to get in relatively early on Monday night. Ended up getting in around 4:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. It's been a long day. It's been a long couple days. That snow game was awesome. I can't wait to get into more details about it. But this is going to be a little bit of a different episode because I was on a bus for most of the day and watching Red Zone on a small screen on the phone, a row in front of you, because Cameron was using his data, not me. Shout out to Cameron. Didn't really get a clear, good look at a lot of the games, but I know enough to kind of know what's going on anyway, so that's going to be the episode, recapping the week. Going to be a shorter episode for sure. Finishing off with college football highlights. We are into conference finals week now. It was rivalry week last week. Again, I'm tired. I guess let's just get into it. Exhausted. Was a long day. I don't even know. I'll say things at the end. Again, it's been a long day. Let's just get right into these college football highlights. It was rivalry week, and there were so many midfield fights because of it. The winning teams wanting to plant their flag in the opposing team's logo. Definitely some exceptions to that. Florida State gets mad at Florida for planting the flag. Arizona gets mad at Arizona State for planting not even a flag, but the trident into the logo. NC State and UNC get into a fight. And then the big one, obviously, Michigan takes down Ohio State. Ryan Day now 1-3, 1-4. Either way, not good. Ryan Day should be on the hot seat. But what was like the worst thing about that is flag gets planted, players get into a bit of a scuffle. First of all, if you're Ohio State, you had 3 hours to fight that hard on the field. Embarrassing. But what was even more embarrassing is the cops who were trying to break everyone up started pepper spraying people. Started pepper spraying these athletes and their coaches. Just, I don't know. It's just unbelievably stupid. Those cops are definitely going to get disciplined, you would imagine. But the states is crazy. Either way, planting flags in the logo, not a bunch of fans, apparently. Not really a bunch of other notes here. Miami loses to Syracuse to not make the ACC conference finals, and they kicked a field goal with under 4 minutes left to make a one-score game into a one-score game. They were down a touchdown deep in Syracuse territory, and they're like, no, let's kick a field goal. We'll get the ball back. It's not like Syracuse has scored 40 points on us already. Mario Cristobal continues to show bad game management decisions. If you remember from last year, there was let's run the ball instead of taking a knee to win this game. They run, they fumble. I don't know who that other team. I think it was Georgia Tech. They end up winning. But another embarrassing decision by Mario Cristobal. Ashton Jeanty has now scored as many points as FSU on the season. Talk about Jeanty every week. He's an absolute stud. Travis Hunter did his stat padding in his final game. Heisman's between those two guys. Travis Hunter is going to win. He's the very, very heavy favorite. But that's the college football highlights. We are on to conference finals, then the college football playoffs, and then it's draft season, and I am very, very excited. But I guess let's start off because we've already started the show, but let's get into the Week 13 recap here. It's going all the way back. Actually, no, starting off with the game that we watched on Monday night. That Monday Night Football game, Browns 32, Broncos 41. This game was awesome, and thank God this was the Monday Night Football game, because being stuck on a train for almost 12 hours, at least this gave us a lot of entertainment while it was on. Jameis Winston, doing his perfect Jameis Winston thing, ended up with technically 6 touchdowns on the day, 2 going to the Broncos. It was a lot of fun. Jerry Jeudy had his biggest game of his year, breakout revenge game for him. This was great. Happy it provided some entertainment for me, but this was a good one. I'm just looking up what Jameis's final stats were, because they were great. 34 of 58, 497 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 of those being pick sixes. Absolutely nuts. We'll start off with the Broncos, though. Looked a little shaky for the Broncos and Bo Nix. Bo Nix was his worst start over the last probably 6 weeks or so of the season, which is fine because Bo Nix has been playing really good football, but kind of came back down to earth a little bit, other than the one. What did that end up being? A 93-yard touchdown pass to Marvin Mims. And that was kind of like the play of the game. That was the wow play from Bo Nix. But that was the only kind of wow play from Bo Nix. I thought he looked okay other than that, but that was a wow throw. That was a big-time throw, and something I didn't necessarily think he was capable of, but Broncos played well. That defense continues to play really well. Nick Bonito getting one of the pick sixes in this one. He's now up to 11.5 sacks on the season as well. I'll throw his name out there for Defensive Player of the Year. Like, the Broncos defense is top 3, top 5 in the league, and he is one of the driving forces on that defense right now. There's a lot of good players. Bonito is leading them in sacks currently, though, and he's a long outside dark horse shot, but he's on one of the better defenses in football. He has the numbers relatively to what's happening in the league. So I would definitely be shocked if he got Defensive Player of the Year, but he should be in the conversation anyways. Defensive Player of the Year usually always goes to an established guy already and not some guy who comes out of nowhere like Bonito, but he's having a great season. He deserves his recognition for sure. I will also shout out Marvin Mims. He had a big game too. 3 catches, 105 yards, and that long TD. It's good that they're getting him involved, because he is just a weapon. He's not consistent. He's not like otherworldly fantastic, but put the ball in his hands, he is able to do things. So I think it's good that they're finally getting him involved a little bit more, because again, he can make these splash plays, and that's what you like to see. Cleveland on the other side. Again, we got Jerry Jeudy, 9 catches, 235 yards, and a touchdown. That now makes it the second time a Browns wide receiver has had 235 plus yards without Deshaun Watson at quarterback. That's pretty embarrassing. I think, wide receivers, I don't know what the timeline was, but I think it was probably this decade. That makes the most sense. But wide receivers with 235 plus yards, it was Tyreek Hill. He had 269. A.J. Brown, I believe, was the other one. And then it was 2 Browns receivers, Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper, each hitting that mark as well, without Deshaun Watson throwing them the ball. So that's just that. The Browns put up a good fight, and this is a game that they should win, but Jameis Winston is your quarterback. And this is what we get from Jameis. We get these, wow, oh my God, he's keeping us in the game, and you get these back-breaking interceptions. 2 pick sixes is absolutely nuts. And the fact that they got that PI call late in the game, they're on the 2-yard line, and of course he throws another interception. That almost got taken back to the house as well, which would have been crazy. But Jameis is just fun, man. Like, it is what it is. He's not a good quarterback, but you need a guy who can just go out there and maybe win you a game. Yeah, he's going to have his back-breaking plays, but Jameis Winston will get the offense in the right position to score anyways, and that goes a long way when you're a bridge QB backup guy where if you can just be a spark, that's all they need. The Browns, again, they've been playing pretty decent football, but two backbreaking interceptions is just too much. We'll go all the way back to Thursday night now, those 3 Thanksgiving games, starting off with the Bears-Lions. Bears 20, Lions 23. Started off very, very poorly for the Lions. I think Caleb Williams only had like 11 passing yards in the first half. It was something crazy like that. And the Lions really just started to play with their food, if you will. They attempted a Penei Sewell passing attempt. He didn't even throw the ball. No one was open, and he stiff-armed someone into the ground. Ended up being like a 1-yard sack on the play, but that picture of Penei Sewell stiff-arming someone, that lives forever. I love Penei Sewell. That might be going up on the wall, because that's just a fun picture of an offensive lineman stiff-arming someone. You don't see that often. But, yeah, Lions ended up getting a little bit closer. This Bears offense ended up playing pretty well. DJ Moore getting more involved. Caleb Williams now has the record for most attempts in a row. Yeah, I think it's most attempts without an interception in his rookie season, surpassing Kyler Murray and CJ Stroud. So shout out to Caleb. He's playing great football. Some of the stuff that he does in the pockets to escape guys, it is great. I am very excited to see what Caleb does in the future, but this season is lost. And again, the Bears find crazy ways to lose every week. It was just under 40 seconds. They get the play. They're trying to get the play off. Play takes forever to come in, supposedly. Time keeps going, keeps ticking. They have 1 timeout left in the bank. Nope, they're not calling it. Caleb then has to switch the play because he realizes we don't have enough time left to take that shot. They snaps it still way too late. Throw the ball, incomplete, game over. That's it. They were basically in field goal range. It would have been a very, very long kick for Eddie Pinheiro, but the fact that it was like 40 seconds, they still had a timeout left, tons of time to do literally anything else other than what they did, and they lost. This game should have went to overtime, and it's embarrassing. Matt Eberflus has since been fired, and absolutely deserves. In the Bears' 100-year history, he is the first coach to get fired mid-season from them. And yeah, he's an idiot. And the Bears continue to do Bears things where he actually got to his morning press conference on Friday thinking like, oh no, I'm prepping for next week's game. And then he got fired right after, which embarrassing from the Bears in general. Was a good game though. The Lions are now, again, Lions best team in football. They are extremely, extremely banged up on defense now. Alex Anzalone was already out in this one with a broken arm. Malcolm Rodriguez, they're one of the Hard Knock stars from a few years ago. He tore his ACL. He's out for the season. They lost a few people. Like, they were losing guys. They now bring in Jamal Adams. They bring in Blitzboy to honestly probably just be one of their de facto linebackers. I guess we'll see. The Lions are good, and the Bears are dysfunctional. The Bears' season of, like, these back-breaking, I mean, we talk about the Commanders' Hail Mary, the blocked field goal, the whatever happened in the Vikings game 2 that caused them to fuck up this one. Like, the Bears could be in a wild card spot right now if a few of these losses go. Maybe not a wild card spot because all of them would have to flip, but the Bears are a good roster. Coaching, whatever, awful. We'll see what they do with the interim coaching bump this week. We will move on. Next game, Giants 20, Cowboys 27. Big win for the Cowboys, I guess. Not a lot to really say. Rico Dowdle had a great game. Shout out Rico Dowdle. The Giants have no one now. Andrew Thomas has been out for most of the season. Dexter Lawrence is now out for the rest of the year. I don't know. The one highlight I can give you in this one, Demarion Overshone, his batted ball still up in the air. He gets it, pick 6. That was a fantastic play. That was one of the better plays we've seen this season. Other than that, not a lot to really tell. I was not paying attention a ton to this game, because why would I? It's the Giants, it's the Cowboys. They both suck. Giants played like relatively hard. Drew Lock is way better than Tommy DeVito, and the stats didn't look great for Lock, but at least Lock was trying to push the ball down the field. He's mobile enough where he can scramble a little bit. There was a couple big opportunities missed by Darius Slayton. Had a couple, would have been tough catches, but you hope that he would have come down with at least one of those. Yeah, not a lot of real confident things I can say about the Giants. I guess we can keep going because, again, I'm tired. This should be a shorter episode anyways. Let's go to the next game, and where I'm going to be greatly disappointed talking about this one. Dolphins 17, Packers... What was it? I've blocked it out of my... Packers 30. It was over basically as soon as the game started. We forced them to punt. Malik Washington, instead of calling a fair catch or letting it maybe bounce into the end zone, he tries to make a play, which I appreciate the returners trying to make a play instead of just, fair catching it every time, because that's what Braxton Berrios did. And it's like, why are you out there returning punts if you're not going to return the punts? Either way, Washington fumbles, they get the ball, they score a touchdown, and it was basically all over from there. I'm trying to find the tweet now to basically sum up the first quarter for the Dolphins here. Where is it? This was a while ago, so I just keep scrolling. There we go. So yeah, Miami, almost a kick return TD. They got a muffed punt, 3 offensive penalties, almost a fumble, and the first quarter wasn't even done yet. It was a disaster from the beginning. And on everyone did not play well enough. The offensive line did not play well enough. The run game was non-existent. Tua missed some throws, but Tua also completed 80% of his passes, where it's kind of crazy for me to be like, he should have completed 85. He played good. No one else played good enough other than him. The defense just sucked. They had 20 missed tackles in this one. Jordan Love, I believe, finished with... what was his stats? He finished with 274 yards. Does that sound right? Yeah, 274 yards in this one. 100 of those were yak yards. And again, missed tackles absolutely killed us. The defense was embarrassed, but the way I can look at this game and have if things bounced our way and if we weren't a candy-ass team, if we don't muff that punt, and we start with the ball. That takes off 7 from the Packers, sure. 4th and goal, 3rd and goal. If we score, if we get in, all of a sudden it's a 24-23 game for us. And obviously the Packers definitely took their foot off the gas a little bit because it was over. It was over when it started. But that's the only way. That is my coping mechanism for this game is, if we don't muff that punt and we actually succeed on 4th and goal, we win by 1, I guess. I don't know. Embarrassing game of football, though. Embarrassing game of football all around. We were not ready for the cold. Easy as that. The Packers are fine. I don't really... This is kind of a nothing burger game for them. They didn't need to do anything. It was a layup. Again, it was a layup from the start. The Dolphins are embarrassing, and they embarrass me every single year. But what else is new? What else is new? We can go on to the Friday game now, the Black Friday game. Raiders 17, Chiefs 19. Another one of these games where the Chiefs probably should have lost, but that black magic, those rituals they got going under Arrowhead right now, they're working. They are keeping them alive, and I mean keeping them alive. They're 11-1. One of the worst 11-1 teams, actually point differential wise, they are the worst 11-1 team of all time. But I don't care. I truly don't care. It's like, the Chiefs don't have it this year. It's the same stuff from last year. The Chiefs don't have it, and they went on to win a Super Bowl. They will turn it on in the playoffs. DJ Humphries will be their left tackle, because Wanya Morris is an absolute turnstile, and he got replaced by left guard Joe Tooney. That's how down bad that offensive line was. DJ Humphries will come in. He will be average at best, you can hope. That's a huge upgrade, though, and that offensive line should look better. Hollywood Brown is coming back. That is just a boost to the passing game in general. Pacheco getting back into the mix too. I don't think there's a... Either way, I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, come playoff time, they'll batten down the hatches. They'll look pretty good. I'm not worried about them whatsoever. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. The ending of that game, a little weird though. Jackson Powers-Johnson snaps it early. Aiden O'Connell not ready for it. Apparently there was a... what was the actual call? Because they wanted it to be a false start, and that would have not made the fumble happen. But illegal formation, it was illegal something by the left tackle. Either way, mistake by the Raiders. Maybe Daniel Carlson could have made a couple more kicks, and you wouldn't have even been in that position late. You can't make mistakes against the Chiefs. The Chiefs play down to everyone's level despite who you are, but if you make mistakes on them, the Chiefs will capitalize, and that's just what they've been doing for the past 2 years. Simple as that. Brock Bowers should be Rookie of the Year. And I think the best way to describe Brock Bowers for Rookie of the Year right now anyways, compared to Jane Daniels and Bo Nix, where it's, okay, Jane Daniels and Bo Nix are having very, very good seasons. Those in the Vegas odds anyways, those are the top 2 guys right now. But they're having, like, good rookie seasons. That's fantastic. Brock Bowers is going to be an all-pro tight end in year 1, breaking the rookie receptions record from last year from Puka Nacua as a tight end who's now had... He's probably caught passes from 3 quarterbacks this year, Minshew, AOC, and maybe one from Desmond Ridder. I don't know. But those aren't good quarterbacks. So the fact he's putting up all-pro tight end numbers, he's going to be breaking records, and right now he's 3rd in those odds. Rookie of the Year should not be a quarterback award. MVP, fine, whatever. We got Offensive Player of the Year. We got Defensive Player of the Year. MVP is essentially the quarterback award now. Offensive Rookie of the Year... that should be able to go to anybody. Brock Bowers is having an all-pro season as a rookie. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, good seasons, not all-pro caliber seasons. That's just my 2 cents, because, I'm a little invested, because I might have a Brock Bowers Rookie of the Year ticket, but I digress. We can move on now to Sunday's games. Also, actually, last thing, Aiden O'Connell also looked pretty decent. We'll leave that at that. Like, shout out to Aiden O'Connell for looking like he can make some millions of dollars in the league. I guess. Good for him. On to Sunday's games. Starting off with Texans 23, Jags 20. Trevor Lawrence comes back in this one and immediately leaves with a concussion. Azeez Al-Shire took his head off. Lawrence slid. Wasn't even like a late slide. It was, again, it's so hard. Boom, boom. These guys are moving around a million miles an hour. It's tough. Al-Shire now suspended 3 games. I'll talk more about that on Friday's show in the NFL Weekly Update. But if Trevor Lawrence finishes this game, the Jags probably win. This is how down bad the Texans have been recently. CJ Stroud continues to not look great. Everything, just, I don't know. Everything about the Texans doesn't look good. Nico Collins looks good. That's great. But yeah, again, these are going to be very, very quick recaps. What I did see, I saw Brian Thomas Jr. catch a deep touchdown. I also saw Brian Thomas Jr. get missed for 2 more deep touchdowns, where if someone can just, like, again, Mac Jones is a little bit different because Mac Jones is Mac Jones, but like if Trevor Lawrence can dial in those like deep shots to Brian Thomas Jr. and get a little bit more consistency there, Brian Thomas Jr. might be like a top 5 receiver by the end of next year. That might be a bold thing to say, but he's having a fantastic season, constantly getting open deep. It's just a matter of, can these quarterbacks get him the ball? And most of the time, no, that's not the case. CJ Stroud, over the last month, continues to look like the worst QB from his draft class right now, which is saying something given the state of that class at the start of the year. But I don't know. Texans, again, they're still in the driver's seat for that division. This was a big win for them in general. Not a lot of confidence in them going forward in whatever they do. We can keep going here. Chargers 17, Falcons 13. Kirk Cousins has been awful these last, I think it's 3 games. He has 0 touchdowns and now 6 interceptions. 4 interceptions in this one, where another game where the Falcons should have won. Younghoe Koo misses a field goal. Kirk throws the slowest pass ever for a pick 6. And the Chargers just play good enough to win. Then that's fine. But I don't know what the Falcons do at this point. Really. Kirk Cousins is, okay, you've already hit your ceiling with Kirk. It is what it is. You have Michael Penix sitting on the bench, who you just drafted at 9 overall. And, there's not much, I think benching Kirk this year for Penix makes no sense. You gave the man a 3-year no, it was a 4-year contract. They gave him a 4-year contract with an out after year 2, I believe. I think they have to trade him. And someone will probably trade for Kirk Cousins, one of these teams who don't get their quarterback. But actually, I was talking with Cam because we had so much time on the train to figure out QB spots and blah, blah, blah. We really narrowed it down to only 5 teams need a quarterback. We have the Raiders. We have the Giants. The Jets are going to cut Aaron Rodgers, but why would they trade for Kirk to just be a bridge quarterback for no apparent reason? Maybe. The Saints are probably going to cut Derek Carr to free up cap space because they're in cap hell and they need that. And then the Browns, who are just stuck with Deshaun Watson's $70 million cap hit next year, and they can't bring in Kirk at a $40 million thing. So those are the 5 teams that really need a quarterback. We can talk about teams like the Titans or the Panthers or the Colts, but all of those guys, young quarterbacks, are playing well and will not bring in competition next offseason. Just in my opinion, they shouldn't. Should they bring in a dependable backup? Completely. But in terms of where guys could start, I actually don't know what the plan for the Falcons with Kirk would be. If someone wants to trade, give them anything away for Kirk, they should absolutely do that. But I don't think there's going to be a big market out for him. And that was maybe going to be one of my offseason takes where, the Falcons trade Kirk Cousins away. I don't know if there's going to be a willing partner to a Kirk Cousins trade, which is crazy. We talk about, the QB play is, it's down. It's so bad compared to 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. The fact that, I could sit here and be okay, Kirk Cousins, guys like Jameis, Derek Carr, they're all fine quarterbacks. They're not great. They're pretty good. But the fact that all 3 of those guys might not have a starting job next year is a little nuts to me. But QB play is on the up, I guess. We can leave it at that. Yeah, Chargers win this game because the Falcons. Simple as that. Next game up here. Titans 19, Commanders 42. This game was basically over as it started. It was 28-0 in a flash. It was, Commanders get back on track after a few bad games in a row. The offense looked good again. They were running the ball well. Terry McLaurin was getting open. He even lined up on the right side of the field for the first time this season. Cliff Kingsbury may be learning a little bit. I don't know. But, again, not much to really say. The Commanders, this was a big win for them to stay firmly in that wild card race. Titans on the other side, they picked it up kind of as the game went on, but they were way too, they were out of it, basically. Again, not like the Dolphins, because the Dolphins were... They were out of it if you know the Dolphins, but they weren't out of it based off what the score. The Titans were literally out of this game. 28-0 by the second quarter, I believe. Shout out to Nick Westbrook-Akine. He now has 8 touchdowns on, I think, 20 catches this season. It's one of the highest that's definitely the highest touchdown per catch ratio in the league this year, and I think it's one of the highest ever. So shout out to him. All he does is catch touchdowns, apparently. Will Levis still, again, playing good football. And I can't believe, basically, a month, 6 weeks ago, where I was okay, at least the Titans know Will Levis is done. Now it looks like, okay, he's their starter next year. You bring in another decently capable backup. That would be good. But, yeah, I don't know. Keep going. Again, didn't really watch a ton of these games. Next game up here, Cardinals 22, Vikings 23. Big come from behind win. The Cardinals kicked a field goal to go up 6 late instead of trying to go for the touchdown. I can see what Gannon was going for, but no, Vikings storm right down the field, score that touchdown. Sam Darnold, another great game in this one. Cardinals tried to get Marv. They wanted to get Marv involved. Jonathan Gannon even said, like, yeah, we're going to try to look his way. He had a good game. There was a few missed opportunities, obviously. The Kyler and Marv not getting on the same page, like, especially now this late into the season, is not worrisome, but both guys are really talented, and that's a connection that they need to work on in the off season. I mean, it should have just been happening naturally as the season goes on, or they get more reps in practice. I have no idea, but Marv needs to get involved. Trey McBride is also probably going to be the other all-pro tight end this year with Brock Bowers. Trey McBride doesn't have a touchdown this year, though, which is very, very funny. I will continue to bet him to score a touchdown every single week, hoping that he does. He'll get one eventually, right? Right. Vikings, though, what are they now? They got 10 wins on the season now. Does that sound right? I think that sounds right. Vikings have, 10-2 now on the season, where no one gave them a chance in hell, including me. I thought, okay, J.J. McCarthy is out, and maybe, the rookie QB could have played like lights out and whatever. But no, they went into the season with Sam Darnold. Their win total was set at 6.5 wins. Their secondary, I trusted Brian Flores to get that defense right, but on paper, that defense did not look very good. And now, I still can't fully buy into Sam Darnold, but Kevin O'Connell should be far and away the front runner for Coach of the Year right now. The fact that he isn't kind of boggles my mind. I think right now it's Dan Campbell number 1, but everyone knew that the Lions were going to be a powerhouse going into this season, and they proved everyone right. They're playing great football. Mike Tomlin on the other side, I think he's next in the odds. Again, he's having a great year, but he always has good years. He's having a great year this year, but this is what we expect from the Steelers. They finally got some quarterback play that isn't Kenny Pickett. They have an offensive coordinator who's not an idiot, and look at that. They're playing good football. No one gave the Vikings a chance, and they are 10-2, playing very, very good football. Kevin O'Connell should be Coach of the Year. I'm shocked that he isn't the favorite. I am absolutely shocked that he isn't the favorite. 1 point behind Dan Campbell, or 1 win behind Dan Campbell. With, again, that roster on paper didn't look great compared to these other ones. He's a very good coach. Simple as that. Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year. We can leave it at that. Next game up here, Colts 25, Patriots 20. Anthony Richardson had his typical Anthony Richardson game. A few wow plays, few mistakes by his teammates where you're like, wow, those could have been wow plays. Few doy plays in the classic Anthony Richardson mold, I guess. This is one where I really don't know what happened. I think there was some kind of controversial ending. I think Christian Barmore got held on Anthony Richardson's final touchdown pass, or touchdown run to go ahead in the game. The Patriots tried to kick a 68-yard field goal to win with Joey Sly, and he almost hit it. After Joey Sly, I think, missed like a 27-yarder earlier in the game and like shanked it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really got much. Patriots played good enough, I guess, to win this. They did not win it. Drake May continues to be good. Barmore is awesome. Gonzo is awesome. I don't know. Not much to really say. Colts win. I'll be home on Sunday. I'll pay more attention this week. Next game here, Steelers-Bengals. Steelers 44, Bengals 38. I said on Friday's show where I think if the Bengals score more than 25 points, they'll probably win this one because I didn't believe in the Packers that they could get in a shootout, and Russ definitely turned back the clock. 29 of 38, 414 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and an interception. And not your typical Russ performance where it was, a bunch of go balls, and he was actually hitting the middle of the field, which he has been allergic to for quite some time now. So yeah, shout out to Russ having a very good game. Shout out to Najee Harris. He continues to be up and down, but he looks like more of a consistent back from what we've seen the last few years. George Pickens does his George Pickens thing. The defense looked good. They got to Joe Burrow a couple times, couple strip sacks, and an interception. That was that was the one thing that I was worried about is could the Steelers win in a shootout? They absolutely proved that they could. But on the other side, the Bengals defense is absolute ass. Where, yeah, you should be able to score as many points as you did against them because they are that bad. And the Steelers won't be playing bad defenses like that in the playoffs. So, again, good win for the Steelers. I'm not taking away anything for that, but I'm still skeptical, and I feel like I have the right to be skeptical. Bengals on the other side, Joe Burrow would be MVP if his defense was average at best. He is trying to play, again, he's playing his ass off. God, on First Take, and I don't watch First Take, but we were in our hotel room in the morning, and whatever, First Take's on, let's just leave it on, and they got to this game, and they were talking about, and Shannon Sharp was talking about, Joe Burrow needs to be better. Joe Burrow is the only reason why they are in this game to begin with. I get he had the interception, I get he had the 2 fumbles, but where was he supposed to go with the ball? Those were just really good plays by the defense, and you can't blame Joe Burrow for a strip sack. I think it's crazy to put any kind of blame on Joe Burrow for this season and what the Bengals have done when there's so many other people to blame. The coaching, the front office, the ownership, the players on defense in general. Joe Burrow is literally the last person in Cincinnati that needs any blame, and the fact that Shannon Sharp was even trying to make that argument is crazy. Dan Orlovsky was dumbfounded that was even coming out of his mouth. He didn't even know what to say because it was such a stupid thing for Shannon to say, and that's why I turned off First Take, because it's a shitty show. They make, I don't know, it's just loud people yelling about things that they're wrong about for 90% of the time. Sports media is dead. That's why you listen to me. I guess. I don't know. We can keep going here. We're now getting into the games where I didn't really watch whatsoever. Actually, we got one more. Seahawks 26, Jets 21. It looked like the Jets were going to win this one. We're kind of pulling away early. They had an opportunity in the red zone to go up 28-7. Garrett Wilson wide open. Aaron Rodgers misses some bad, and I have to say, Wilson was wide open. He had 8 yards of separation around him. And then very next play, tipped ball, Leonard Williams, 90-yard pick six. That's right, Leonard Williams, interior defensive lineman, running it back. That probably is the farthest return touchdown from an interior defensive lineman in the history of the NFL. I have no idea how to back that up, but Leonard Williams has been on an absolute tear recently on these last couple of weeks, and the Seahawks defense is playing very well, and they're playing hard. They're now leading that division. I'm interested to see how the Seahawks finish down the stretch. Their offense still, I don't really know what they do and what their plan is most of the days, and I don't think that they really know what their plan is. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba needs to get involved a little bit more than a guy like DK Metcalf. I like DK and what he does, but again, it's go balls with him, it's deep shots. Let's hit JSN and then open that stuff up for DK a little bit more. But I'm mad Zach Charbonnet got a touchdown because if Kenneth Walker got a touchdown, we all would have hit our parlay for the weekend, which would have been fun. But I digress. Rams 21, Saints 14. These are the games where I literally watched like nothing of. Good for the Saints to get a win, or sorry, good for the Rams to get a win to keep afloat in that division. Maybe a wild card. I don't know. I doubt it because Vikings, Packers basically have two of those wild card spots locked up right now. I think the one thing I have from this, Brady Fisk got a fumble reception, ran it back for a touchdown. He looked pretty good moving there too. Made a couple guys miss. I think saw someone say that the Sean McVay's already scheming up fullback packages for him. Yeah, Rams win a game that they absolutely should have. The Saints, again, they're just not... That coaching bump finally went away from Darren Rizzi a little bit. They're still playing hard. MVS got another touchdown in this one, sure. Taysom Hill now out for the season with an ACL. That's very unfortunate. But, yeah, not a lot to really say. So I will keep going. Bucks, Panthers. This game went to overtime. Bucks 26, Panthers 23. Panthers had multiple chances to win this game. Bryce Young looked like the first overall pick, based off what I read on Twitter and the highlights that I watched. Bryce Young he's looked very good the last couple weeks, and this might have been his best game. There were a few drops by teammates. Adam Thielen, for some reason, that wasn't a touchdown in the back of the end zone, but that was going to be a really nice play. Bryce is playing very good football, and I'm very happy for him. And it's because they finally have an identity on offense. They like running the ball. Their offensive line is a good offensive line. Chuba Hubbard was beating himself up at the end for his fumble to lose them the game in this one and give the Bucks the chance to kick that field goal. But the Panthers are building something. It's not this year. They got a whole offseason to figure out what they're trying to do. But I like the weapons that they have on offense. I think that they need someone to step up next year. Maybe that's Xavier Leggett. I have no idea. But old man Adam Thielen still doing his thing. Jatavian Sanders, when he comes back from injury, he's a really good player. But Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks are going to be a very fun backfield next year. Jonathan Brooks, in his limited work in this one, was making guys miss. He looked explosive, and that's something for Panthers fans to be excited about. They got some stuff on the defense to address, but the defense is playing much better recently after DJ Wanham started playing again. So, shout out to the Panthers for playing hard. Bucks on the other side, not really much, because most of the stuff on my timeline was Panthers-centric, and Bryce Young, the most big-time throws in the last 2 weeks with 9, I believe. Baker played well enough. Mike Evans had a big game. I think they're going to try to push for him to get his 1,000 yards this season. I hope he does. I will be betting his overs every single week. Not much to say on the Bucks, but they have a backdoor. What are their standings right now? I bet the Bucks to win that division a few weeks ago. They are now tied with the Falcons. Obviously, the Falcons have the 2 wins over them, but the fact that the Bucks have the same amount of wins right now, I'm very happy I placed that bet. I think I can leave it at that. Next game up here, Eagles 24, Ravens 19. The Eagles get it done. They did what they needed to do. Saquon, another big game. He's running away with Offensive Player of the Year now. Cooper DeJean had that great tackle on Derrick Henry. Like, that should go up on his wall at his house of him making that tackle, because that was a great tackle, and Derrick Henry usually doesn't get hit like that. But this game answered a lot of questions that I had about the Eagles. I still think that wasn't a perfect game from them, all things considered, but they won the game. That's what matters. They're a good football team. They're a very good football team. But other than that, because again, didn't watch this game. I was on a bus in the States when this game was happening, and then I was tailgating. So didn't get a chance to really watch this one. But the Ravens on the other side, you want to know why the Ravens lost this one? Justin Tucker misses a 47-yard field goal. Justin Tucker misses a 53-yard field goal. Justin Tucker misses an extra point. That is an extra 7 points that the Ravens normally would have got from Justin Tucker in this one, but they don't. They lose. And this has been a rapid progression of basically every single, or over the course of the season so far, where Justin Tucker, I think he missed a kick week 1 or early in the season where it was like, Justin Tucker washed? Like, And then it got to the middle of the season where it was, okay, Justin Tucker is now just an average NFL kicker. Now we're at the point, Justin Tucker statistically is one of the worst kickers in the league right now. That hurts me a lot. I've talked about how Justin Tucker getting old is making me feel old because every time I've turned my TV on Sundays, Justin Tucker has been automatic one of the best kickers in football. And now, I think field goal percentage wise, he's 32 out of 32. I mean, there's other guys that qualify who don't have his butt, but like out of the guys who have been kicking every single week, it's like him and Dustin Hopkins. And Dustin Hopkins also fucking stinks. And that's crazy. Justin Tucker has had an unbelievable career. Some people were putting him in the GOAT kicker conversations. But with this is a steep decline over the course of this season. And I don't know what the future holds for Justin Tucker. He will obviously be their kicker for the rest of the season, regardless of how bad he plays and what he misses. I don't think that they'll bring in any kicker competition for him because he is one of the best kickers ever. But crazy that we've gotten to this point with Justin Tucker where stuff that was automatic for him just a couple years ago is now costing the Ravens multiple games this season. But that's just the world we live in now. Crazy. And final game here. We got my snow game. We got the game that I was boots on the ground for. Niners 10, Bills 35. I guess I'll probably just do a whole recap. But no, we trained down that Saturday morning. Got to Toronto. Shout out to Bailey, Keegan's cousin, for hooking us up at the Germain Hotel in downtown Toronto. Lovely hotel. My one complaint was the artwork that goes behind the bed. It was some dude shirtless swinging a kettlebell. Apparently that was a Leafs player, but couldn't tell who it was. And it was a 7 foot by 3 foot massive picture. Don't know why that's decor in a hotel room, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. Either way, great hotel stay. And then we go with Toronto Ticket Market. Toronto Sports Market. I should have known who got it. Either way, we go on a bus, start at 12 p.m., supposed to get there by 4. The border takes fucking forever. So we are stuck at the border for at least an hour. Finally get there, whatever. It was also wild, though, the progression of snow at the Buffalo border. Absolutely no snow anywhere. You drive 15 more minutes, 2 feet of snow everywhere. Was crazy, but it was beautiful. I loved being there. Would have liked to get a little bit more tailgating time because we showed up at 6 instead of 4:30. So got drunk in a parking lot aggressively for an hour. You can see my lovely cut on my chin. Again, snowy, icy. I slipped, banged my chin, apparently. Didn't realize it until I was standing in line to go to the bathroom, and some guy, I'm wearing my Dolphin starter jacket, and we're talking about the jacket, and then he looks at my chin, he's like, what the fuck did you do? And I was like, what do you mean, what did I do? He's like, your chin, you're bleeding. And I touched it, and I was like, oh shit, I am bleeding. Didn't know what happened. Either way, I digress, but this game was so much fun to be at. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime game. Snow games don't happen very often. And we're talking about the snow games like that Browns-Steelers Thursday night game from 2 weeks ago now, where when the snow is on the field and they got to go and take the snow or take the leaf blowers and blow off the hashes and the numbers and the yard markers, that's a snow game. The snow was falling hard. It was beautiful. That was great. And people complain oh, the stadium, there was nowhere to sit because there was snow in everyone's seat. I don't care. The atmosphere of that game, because everyone was standing the entire time, was absolutely electric. That was one of the most fun experiences I've had at an NFL game. and my team wasn't even playing. I was in enemy territory. I got a lot of dirty looks. I got a snowball thrown at my head that everyone was throwing snowballs, and I got a couple that hit me where it's like someone's just chucking them and it's just hitting me. But I got one that probably would have been in like a 20-foot radius of me that just smoked me in the cheek. That didn't feel good. Snow games are awesome, though. And I'm happy that the Bills aren't building a dome because we will get to see more snow games from them. But I guess let's talk about actual gameplay here. Josh Allen becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to have a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown in the game. And he also didn't finish with a catch. He had 7 yards and a touchdown and no catches in this one. That play throws a little bit behind Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper makes the big play to reel that in. Josh was running behind him, and Amari just, okay, dump off to him. That, again, rugby passes, in the next 4 or 5 years, rugby passes are going to be everywhere in the NFL. Because there's a couple plays where I see, oh, if that guy just pitches it off, he's gone. Because everyone breaks down on the ball carrier. Either way, love that. Obviously, CMC leaves the game early. He was looking good. PCL tear, he's obviously out for the rest of the year. Mac Hollins shows up barefoot in this one, makes a touchdown catch too. James Cook running all over everybody. Like, the Bills smoked them. It was a lot of fun to be there to watch that game. Cameron was obviously very disappointed, but didn't get up his hopes that much because, again, they were never really in this. I really don't have much to say on the Niners. Jordan Mason also on IR now too with an ankle sprain, so Isaac Orendo will be the lead ball carrier, but it doesn't feel like they know what they're doing on offense right now. Debo he's a fun gadget player, but like he's not getting involved. George Kittle isn't getting involved as much as he probably should. Juwan Jennings is awesome, and I like him a lot, but he is not a wide receiver one, and if he's getting the bulk of your targets, that's not great. Ricky Pearsall's just running cardio out there. The Niners are in disarray right now, and I think it's as simple as that. They're not going to make the playoffs. They got some things to fix, but this is still a competitive roster regardless. The injury bug has absolutely killed them. Again, more people left in this game too, but yeah, when you lose like 11 guys out for the season or to miss significant time who are all starters for you, yeah, you're typically not going to have a great year, but snow games are awesome. That game was awesome. So much fun to actually be there. Getting back, stuck at the border. We were back at our hotel room by 5 a.m. Day didn't get any better either because it was like, okay, we get in at 5 a.m. We got a late checkout. Our checkout's at 1. Train left at 2:15. Train was supposed to leave at 2:15. So get to Union Station. We're like, okay. All of a sudden, train's delayed. Train's leaving at 4. It's like, okay, we'll go to the food court. We'll hang out, whatever. Get ready. Keeps getting delayed. Keeps getting delayed. Keeps getting delayed. We finally get on the train around 5. Train doesn't move until 6. We go about 20 minutes. We're in Scarborough. Go Train is down in Oshawa. There's only one track. They're trying to get it off. We're stuck in Scarborough for another hour, hour and a half. Okay, we finally get going, chugging along. All of a sudden, stop again. Stop, stop, stop. We're in Coburg now. And someone has died on the tracks. So we're now stuck for another couple more hours. And it just kept getting delayed. They eventually ordered us Domino's pizza to get brought on the train. It was a disaster. We were supposed to get home, I think, around 6:30, 6:45, if everything went according to plan. I walked through my door at 4:15 a.m. It's been a long day. I am very, very tired still. Hopefully the episode wasn't too bad. I mean, I almost went for an hour, so I guess it was pretty decent. I don't really know. But was a great weekend. Happy to do it with Cameron and Keegan. And again, once in a lifetime thing to be at a snow game like that. I had a great time. Shout out to the Bills fans who were being nice to me about my coat, or people just coming up to me and like, that's a fucking awesome coat. I know it's an awesome coat. Yeah. No, again, I didn't get this from any Bills fans suckered me in the face. That was my own doing. I definitely let the Josh talk a little bit too much. But it was a good game. It was a good game. It was a fun weekend. Happy I can just chill out for now, but that's the amount of like traveling and just like stuck because it's like I drove to Montreal Thursday, drove back, train to Toronto, bus to Buffalo, bus back to Toronto, and then train back to Ottawa that took 12 hours. Lot of traveling, a lot of time stuck in transportation these last few days, but it was a great last few days, and I will just end it here. If you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, peace.